We are less than a week away from the start of Black History Month. It's a history that runs deep here on Delmarva.
The Ward Museum of Wildfowl Art at Salisbury University is celebrating that history with a bold new exhibit, Another View, Untold Stories. And we are honored this afternoon to have with us the artist behind that exhibit. This is Patrick Henery, along with the museum's curator, Raye, Valion, Gillette. Did I say that? Raye, Valion, Gillette. I knew I was going to mess that up. My apologies to you, but thank you both for joining us this afternoon. It's wonderful to have you. So, Patrick,
yes.
Again, thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
You have really earned the reputation for seascapes and landscapes, but in this particular one, you take a different approach.
Yes, yes.
Tell us about it.
Well, my history goes back in high school and in college. I did people, but I got tired of people asking me to do a commission of their dead grandmother or dead grandfather. So
okay.
When I came back home, and I grew up in West Ocean City, and when I came back home, I taught at Stephen Decatur High School, and so that area was Eastern Worcester County was my environment, and I absorbed it, and I embarked on paintings of my environment. We're going back to the late 70s. So after 40 some years, I said, let me try something different. And this series that I worked on was evolution back to my historical and cultural interests from decades ago.
Okay. So talk about what you're doing and how you came across this idea.
Okay. In 1998, my wife's aunt passed, and her mother, my wife's mother, was the executor of the estate and was cleaning out the cottage. And on the porch was this bag of photographs that was about to get thrown away. And these were vintage photos from the late 1800s forward. And I had the equipment to scan and clean up these images. So for 20 years, other people entrusted me with their collection of vintage photos. And in 2017, I was asked to do a painting for my former department head, Ernest Satchel at UMES. It was called Steal Away, and it was a dictation from the Harriet Tubman legacy. It was this family of slaves heading off to the river to get in a boat to be, carried up the river, freed. So it was 2017. I did that one called Steal Away. Then the next one was called Mojo Working, which was a scene of slaves in the cabin entertaining themselves through music and other rituals. Then the next one was U.S. colored troops liberating the slaves, and that was a scene of a black regiment going through Georgia, I would say, because that's where a lot of their battles were fought.
Wow.
And then a painting chronicling the legacy of John Henery, the steel driving man.
Oh my.
But COVID hit, the tragedies evolved around Ahmaud Arbery,
right,
George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and COVID really had, when we were locked down,
right,
I was away from my studio, and I really reflected on where I was in this whole dialect that was going on.
Yeah.
And I returned to those photographs and looked in the eyes of those people who have gone through. We're talking about photographs from the late 1800s to about late 1950s.
Yeah.
And I thought about what they went through, and I was like,
people got to see these.
Yes. And I said, you know what, if they, in the environment they were during that time, can make it, I know and others can make it too.
So
yeah.
Raye, visitors now get to see these images.
Absolutely. We have an opening reception on Friday night, starting at 5 o'clock. And as of last night, I hung the last painting. And I've been visiting Patrick's studio throughout his painting of the series. So I've definitely, I love them all, but there's several that I have absolutely fallen in love with. And just to watch the series come to life. Patrick and I kind of knew each other at the beginning, but just to get to know him as a friend, as an artist, as a person, just the culmination of all of these things to come together beginning on Friday is really exciting.
So how did it feel to bring these photographs to life on canvas?
That's a great question, because the concept started early in 2020. The first painting I started on September of 2020, and it wasn't long after that I met Raye. And of course, like I said, I was going through all this emotional things with the COVID and with those tragedies that happened. And there's fear, there's anger. This is the beauty of the creative process is through those 16 to 14 months, I saw a transition in the way I approached the series to a settling, this is a word that is a feeling of love, we as humans, if we do act upon our creative urges, we can get to that nice place that we're more tolerant of each other, and humanity can live up to the standards. And my hero, Dr. Martin Luther King, quoted that many a times, and he was my standard bearer.
So Raye, what are you hoping people will take away from this exhibit?
Oh my goodness. All of it. I mean, there's so many conversations to be had. There's so many similar experiences. Patrick has a way of painting faces and eyes where you can there's one picture where there's, I think, at least 17 people, and each subject has a different look in their eye. And I think that people viewing these paintings can find themselves, or find, their mothers or their grandmothers, or, friends, and each painting is a different experience. And I think the conversations that could begin from these paintings are invaluable, and we have Patrick coming back in March to give a talk, kind of expanded version of, just how, like he's sharing here today, how the series came to be. And we run through May, and I'm just so excited for not only for people to come in and see the pieces in person, because I've been posting a lot of them, but there's something about standing in front of a single image and taking it in, and just it's unlike anything else. So to be able to have these at the Ward Museum, in our largest gallery, and to have that personal experience with the community, to me, is just a really exciting opportunity.
And everyone will have that opportunity to start to see them starting this weekend.
Correct.
And we will have all the details with times and such on our website. It runs through May.
Correct.
Right? Yes. Delmarvalife.com. Click on what's happening. Artists Patrick Henery and Raye Gillette, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
all
you.
Looking forward to
very
seeing
much.
it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
good.